Hey, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of the winter workshop. I hope everybody's having a great day. It doesn't feel much like winter where I am. I'm in Texas and it's 80 degrees today. So I'm just going to pretend it's snowing outside. So this is our little project that we're doing today. So it's a little window and it's a little window frame. And my window frame is as if I was looking outside. So I'm looking outside at a nice little snowy scene. You can do yours looking from the inside looking out or from the outside looking in. So if you didn't want to, if you were on the inside looking out, you'd see the outside. But if you're on the outside looking in, you would see a room or the inside of a room, maybe a fireplace or something like that, or a Christmas tree. So you can decide how you want to do that. This is pretty easy. The hardest part of this is going to be getting our glue to dry fast. So we're going to start with gluing our craft sticks. So you're gonna, here, I'll go through our supplies real quick. So you're gonna need your craft sticks, just look like popsicle sticks. You'll need some glue. You will need some construction paper. And then for the embellishments, we've got some sequins. We're going to use in the background. I use some on here for some snowflakes if you want to do that. I've also got some white paint. We painted snow on my trees. I painted some little snowflakes in the sky. A glue stick is nice and handy for gluing the actual construction paper down. Pencil's good to have. I have a pencil and a scissors. So let's go ahead and get started. You're going to start with 4.
Val,
yes.
Sorry, Val, before we get started, we do have a couple of questions for you about the supply.
Okay.
So how many popsicle sticks would you say we need for this? And also, is there any substitution for popsicle sticks?
So you will need, if you want to make this, you'll need 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can get away with 4 if you don't want to do the crossbar in your window. Something you could use instead, you don't even have to use the craft sticks. You can just craft along and just cut all your pieces out of construction paper. So you can cut your window frame out of construction paper just by cutting some strips. Or you could use, I don't know, if you had some paper straws, maybe that would work. But I think the easiest thing, if you have some cardstock or some cardboard or even just construction paper, you can easily make this project with any of that. For now, I'm going to go ahead and show everybody how to do the craft sticks. Now, if you're going to do construction paper in place of your craft sticks, you can follow along the same directions. You just need to cut strips about the same size as a craft stick. When we put our window frame together, it makes about a 4-inch by 4-inch square, just to give you an idea of the size. So I'm going to go ahead and glue, put a little bit of glue on the ends of 2 craft sticks, just like that. Okay, move that into the frame a little better. Then I'm going to take the vertical craft sticks and put them on the corners, just like that. Now this will take a little while to dry, and hopefully it will be dry enough by the time we're done to attach our scene. But if it's not, you can have your scene and then you can have your window. And when your craft sticks are dry, then you can just glue the scene onto your window. So just know that you can do that. So now I'm going to go ahead and make the crossbars. So I'm going to go ahead and add my middle vertical window pane piece. Just like that. Then I'm going to add my, I'm going to add my horizontal one across the middle, just like that. So that's your window frame, and that is the structure around which we are going to make our scene. My craft sticks are a little warped. It's not wanting to stick down there, but I'm going to set this aside out of the frame so so it can dry. But everybody, just so you can see this one more time. It doesn't matter if your crossbar is on the top or the bottom. It doesn't have to be exactly like this, but it'll be obvious when you're gluing it together how to put it together. So I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to start with my background. I'm going to go ahead and make this same one. So I'm using blue construction paper for my sky, and that's what I'm going to start with. I cut my piece of construction paper to 4 inches by 4 inches. If you don't have a ruler, you can kind of guesstimate. I have a little structure here that's already dry, so I can handle it, but you can lay it on top of your construction paper and measure it out that way. Just draw a little line like I just did there, and then cut it to size. So that's going to fit approximately behind there. Now, if it's bigger, if it ends up being bigger, you can trim it down after you get it all glued together. So I'm going to start with my sky, and I'm going to make a little snow bank over here. So I'm going to take my white paper, and I have a pencil. I'm just going to kind of draw a little snow drift that way, and then I'm going to cut it out with my scissors. Now remember that this is being recorded, and so if you need to go back and watch how I did something, like if you're having trouble keeping up, I'm happy to show you guys again. But if you want to do this sort of at your own pace, within 24 hours, it will be up, and you can pull this video back up and do it at your own pace. So I'm going to use my glue stick and glue the back of my snowbank and glue it onto the bottom of my sky paper, piece of paper that's going to be like my sky. Well, it's a little longer, so I'm just gonna.
So Val, we have a question about glue. Can the craft glue be substituted for regular Elmer's glue?
Yes, it can. This is our Creatology brand that we're using. So what you want, so I have, you can see that I have a glue stick, and I have craft glue, white glue. So the glue stick would not be strong enough to keep your craft sticks glued together. That's why we have both. But I like to use a glue stick when I'm using paper, because it's more of a dry glue as opposed to a wet glue. And sometimes when you use a wet glue, it'll ripple your paper. And it's the glue stick is nice because it's like instantly dry, and it's won't slide around and won't move. So yes, you can use, if all you have is Elmer's glue or craft glue, you can use it for everything. I just have these two options here that I'm going to use today, and you can do however you want.
Perfect.
Okay.
And about construction paper colors, someone's asking what colors we need. I see we have dark blue, green, yellow, and white, but can we use?
You can use absolutely any color you have or you want. I want you guys to be as creative as you can, and you don't have to copy my design. You can come up with your own design. If you want a pink sky or a yellow sky, or if you want the inside of your room to be purple, you do that. Yeah, so it doesn't matter what colors you have, but the colors I'm using are yellow, green, white, and blue. But if I didn't have red, which is one of my favorite colors, I would have made red curtains, but I didn't have red. So the other thing too is if you have some markers, you can color on your background. It's just, if you just want to do white, behind your scene and just draw your scene, you can do that as well with markers. So you don't have to cut the pieces. This is just a different kind of another skill set that I'm teaching you guys on how to, cut out shapes and turn them into a scene. But you're more than welcome to draw it, paint it, however you want to do it. Be creative.
Perfect.
Okay.
And we do have a couple of requests for you.
Okay.
The first one is, could you slow down just a bit? And
Sure.
the second one is, a couple people are a little late today, so I
Okay.
think while everybody catches up, could you maybe like do just a quick recap of what we've done so far?
I sure can. I sure can. And I just saw somebody said glitter and I said, yes, absolutely. You can use glitter. I'm using sequins, but if you've got glitter, if you've got glitter glue, you know, I want you guys to be creative. So, okay, so I'm going to go back. Oops, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I dropped my scene. All right, I'm going to go back to the window. So this is the little window that we made, and we made it with craft sticks. We used 6 craft sticks to make it. I'm just going to go over it again real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're going to use your craft glue at the top of each stick. Put the horizontal one on there. Just like that. Okay. Then you're going to do the same thing on the bottom. Just like that. And like I said, you're going to want to do that with your craft glue, with your wet glue. Because a glue stick probably won't, it might, but it probably won't hold it as well. Okay, so there's my window frame. Now I'm going to do my window pane, which is the crossbars. You can keep it like this if you want, but I'm going to go ahead and put a horizontal piece in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a vertical piece in there, 3 little dots of glue, and my vertical piece, just like that. So that's how we made our window, okay? And I want you to carefully set it aside so that it can dry while we're doing the rest of our craft. Then you're going to decide what you want your background to be. My scene is an outdoor scene that I'm on the inside of my room looking outside to my nice snowy scene. So I started with a piece of blue construction paper, and I cut it to the same size as your frame, as you can see. So it's 4 inches by 4 inches. If you have a ruler, if you want to measure and cut it out to that, you can do that. So the next thing I did was I made my snowbank. Stuck in this frame. I made my snowbank. Now I'm going to go ahead and make some trees for my outside. So I've got some green construction paper, and I'm just cutting tall, skinny triangles. I'm not even drawing them. If you feel free to draw them if you want, but I just did some tall, skinny triangles, just like that. So you can cut out, if you're going to do the same scene, you can cut out however many trees you want, and you can cut them different sizes. So I've got a tall one and a little bit smaller one. So I'm going to go ahead and glue those down. And while I'm gluing, you guys can be cutting. If you're not there yet, that's okay. If you're drawing your scene, that's great too. Some people like drawing a lot. I like drawing, but this is kind of fun to cut paper to put your scene together. And if you wanted to draw like your dog, it might be easier to draw your dog than to cut him out of paper. So, whoops, that was the wrong side. So you guys can do it however you want. So there I've got my snow bank and my trees. So now I'm going to take a little bit of white paint. If you don't have white paint, it's okay. You can, if you've got glitter, you can use glitter, or you don't have to do this step. But I'm just going to put a little bit of snow on my trees, like it snowed last night. And the tips of my trees are still covered with snow. All right. Then, as long as I've got my paint out, I'm going to put some little snowflakes in the background. So I'm just going to make little dots with the tip of my paintbrush because it's still snowing out. Okay, now I'm going to have to be careful because this is wet. I now have wet paint. Okay. So now I'm going to take some sequins. Now I used white sequins before, but I think I might use some silver. I've got one white one here. So I'm going to use my wet glue again, my craft glue. And I'm just going to put a little dot of glue there, and then I'm going to set my little sequin right there. Let's see, I'll do one over here. Let's see what else I've got. I might do I'll do a little gold one. How about that? A little gold.
So Val, what are your thoughts on using a glue gun?
A hot glue gun is fine to use for the wood sticks part, but please be very, very careful if you're using a hot glue gun because it's very hot, obviously. But it's a great way to get put your craft sticks together and get them to stay immediately, because hot glue, as soon as it cools, it's hardened and it's dry, so you can move on to your next step. So
Perfect. And we've been getting a couple of questions about using colored popsicle sticks or painting the popsicle.
sure, absolutely. You can use colored popsicle sticks. It just adds a little bit of color to your window, whereas mine is just wood colored. Yours can be red or purple or green or blue, or you can paint them. You can paint designs on them. You can color on them with markers. In fact, I have some markers here. I will go ahead and just make something a little bit different. I'm going to go ahead and just add a little color to like a little crossbars, just for something a little different, because my other one doesn't have any color on them.
While you do that, we have a question about putting glitter on top of the paint to make it look all sparkly.
You can certainly do that, and you can do that when the paint is wet. It will act like glue. So if you put your paint down and you sprinkle it with glitter, the glitter will stick to the wet paint. If your paint is already dry, you can just put a little dot of glue over the paint. Like if you wanted to do, say I wanted glitter down here, then I could just rub glue all over it and sprinkle my glitter on down there. That would look really pretty. Even glitter glue. So glitter glue comes usually in a little squeeze bottle or a little squeeze pen, and you can put little dots of glitter glue. Now that glitter glue usually takes extra long to dry. For some reason, it takes a long time to dry. So you just have to be really careful with your background if you're going to use some glitter glue before you put anything else on top of it. We have any other questions?
Rebecca would like to know if we can see how you do the paper part again, please.
Sure. So what happened to my paper? So I took a piece of construction paper. Oh, here we go. And I cut it to 4 inches square. Okay, so this is my construction paper. Then I have a piece of white, and I just drew a snowbank. I kind of just went like that with my pencil. You kind of do it however you want. And I cut it out. Then I took my glue stick and I glued the back of it. And I glued it to my background, my sky piece, just like that. And then to show you how to do the trees, I just took my construction paper And I'm just eyeballing some triangles, some tall triangles. If you're more comfortable drawing them, feel free to do that. Here's a little piece of paper. I'll show you. If you're more comfortable, or if you want to do, say you want to do trees like more of the traditional Christmas tree kind of tree that looks like that, and cut it out. Now that one, you probably want to draw that, unless you're really good at freehand cutting. Or you can, and you can decorate your background however you want. It doesn't have to be like mine. You can put a snowman outside instead of trees. You just cut some circles out. Or you can paint him. You can paint him on. So there's another tree. I just cut out a different kind of tree. And you're just going to use your glue stick and glue that down. Then I added a little paint, little white paint to the tips of my trees. And then I just dotted little dots of paint for my snowy sky. And then I just glued some sequins on. So my background is pretty much done. The next thing, and you can do this if you want. So since I'm inside looking out, my window on the inside has curtains, which is why I put these curtains on here. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, but if you want to do curtains, so I just have some construction paper that I kind of pre-cut to be about the length of my craft sticks, again, about 4 inches. So I'm just going to draw what I think my curtains should look like. I don't want to cover up too much of my window, so I'm not going to make them too big, but it's like drawing a big K. See how I did that? So just drew a big K. This right here is what I just drew on my construction paper. This part is going to be gluing. You're going to be gluing this to the outside of your craft stick window. See how I did that? I'll cut off my pencil lines. Okay, so you're going to do that twice. So you need 2 of those. And if you want, you can trace this same one, or you can flip it. So it's going on the other side. So you can flip it and lay it on the piece of paper and then trace it. If you can do different kinds of curtains if you want, or you don't have to do curtains at all. You can do some green garland or some, you can just make you can make the outside of the inside of your window look frosty. So now I have these 2 curtains here. Okay. So I'm going to take my craft sticks. They're pretty, now they're going to be a little bit fragile from the glue's not super dry, but it's pretty dry. So I'm going to, this is my front. I'm going to turn it over. So now that's the back. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my craft glue. And I'm just going to line a thin line all along the outer edge. You don't have to worry about the crossbars. They're not going to touch your background, so you won't need glue there. Okay, and now I'm taking my scene and I'm going to flip it over so the back is facing up. And then I'm just going to lay it on. Whoops. Just make sure you've got it glued all the way around. In fact, you're really only going to be sticking it to the 2 popsicle sticks or the 2 craft sticks that are closest to you. There's, if you can see how there's space between this craft stick and the paper, it's not really, it can touch, but it doesn't have to. So there's there's how my scene looks now. I'll give you guys a minute to do that before I go to the next step. The next step is just going to be gluing my curtains on. I'm just going to lay them in place. But you're going to have better luck using your craft glue when gluing to the craft sticks than you will with the glue stick. So I would suggest using the craft glue. Or if you're using hot glue, that'll work too. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little glue on the back. Let's get this in so you can see. I'm going to put it on the 3 sides, the long side and the 2 short sides, but not the cut side, not the K side. There's not going to be anything for that to stick to. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that on to my craft stick. Now I'm going to do the other side. Again, just along the top and the side, and the bottom. There we go. Does anybody have any questions?
Not at the moment.
Good. Everybody must be busy building their windows.
Yeah, Crystal said she just got a Christmas elf and she thinks that her elf is going to love looking out of the window.
Oh, that's a great idea. Put your window by your elf. That's a great idea. The other thing you could do is if you wanted to, you could glue a piece of yarn or string or even a chenille pipe cleaner and glue it to the back and hang it on your tree. I saw somebody said their curtains were too small. Well, you can cut some more out if you need to.
And do they need to color the craft sticks?
No, they don't. Somebody asked if they could paint them or use colored ones. And I said, absolutely they could. So I just showed them how with my marker, I just added some color to my craft sticks. So no, my original one right there doesn't have any color on it. I didn't use any markers or anything. But, you know, you could go in and if you wanted to, say you wanted to decorate your trees that are outside, you could add some sequins to them, some colored sequins. Like I could add some purple onto my trees. I like the little sequins. Oh, there's a little one. Could decorate your outside trees if you want. You could keep them plain, like mine are plain. Mine are from nature. Just like if I was looking outside into my backyard. Now, one thing that I didn't take into account, and maybe you guys did better than I did. So one of my snowflakes is right behind my window pane, and I put it right in the middle of my paper, knowing that my window pane was right in the middle of my window. So you don't even see two of my sequin snowflakes. So I might put another one now that my frame is on there, my window frame is on there, and I know what's going to show. I'm going to put another one where you can see it, like right here. So after you get your window frame onto your window, if you need to make adjustments like I am, go for it. I'm going to put another one.
We've got a few that have asked you to show them again how to make the curtains.
How to make the curtains. I can do that. Remember I said it's a K. Looks like the letter K. So let me get a piece of construction paper. So I'm making them about 4 inches long. So that's good. That'll be about 4 inches long. And
Do you think they could probably use a craft stick to measure that too?
they sure could. What a great idea. Make it the length of a craft stick. Wow, that's the best idea I've heard all day. And so you don't want to make it too wide because you'll cover up some more of your background. I'll make this one wider than I made that one so I can show you. But I'm just drawing a K. I'm going to about the middle and then coming back out. So these are about even. You can see what I'll measure it with my craft stick. So those, the top and the bottom are about even. And I don't come all the way to the edge because then that would cut it in half. So you need to have this little part here. So I'm going to cut that out. Then I'm going to use it to trace, to make another one just like it. So see how I made this one a little wider at the top, as opposed to this is a little skinnier, this is a little wider. So it's just different shapes, different sizes. So I'm going to go ahead and going to flip it because it's the opposite. And I'm going to trace it. I'm going to cut it out. So I'm just making a big K. So now I have 2 curtains. Oh, it's got paint on that one. Oh well. Just like that. And then you just, when you want to glue them on, you're just going to put glue on the 2 short sides and with a long side. And then you just stick it on and it'll stick to your craft sticks. You can do that for both sides. If you want to go the step further and you want to put polka dots on your curtains, take your markers or your paint and you can decorate your curtains. I want you guys to be creative, come up with some ideas. If you want to make it look like your own house, if you have red curtains in your living room and you want it to look like that, that's great. I don't have polka dot curtains, but those are kind of fun. I kind of like that. So you can, I'm going to draw stripes on this one. So if you have your markers handy or your crayons or your colored pencils or paint, whatever, I'm going to make a check and go both ways. You can further design your curtains for all our aspiring interior designers. There, I have checkered curtains and polka dotted curtains.
We have someone wondering if you'll do a valance curtain.
A valance. Oh, okay. Let's do a valance. Does everybody know what a valance is? There's a word that you probably don't know. So a valance goes across the top of the window instead of curtains on going down the side. So I'm going to use my other frame that I demoed before. And let's see, how do we want to, what do we want it to look like? Let's do like a scallop. Everybody know what a scallop is? It's kind of like a, what am I trying to say?
A wave.
A wave. There you go. Thank you. That's going to use like a wiggle worm. Oh, a wave. There's a valance. That's pretty cool. Let's draw some stripes on my valance. So you guys remember, I would love for you to take a picture of your project when you're done and upload it to michaels.com and put hashtag make it with Michaels or hashtag Michaels classes. It'd be so much fun to see what you guys did. So there's my stripey valance. That's pretty. We have any other questions?
Can they use double-sided tape?
Double-sided tape works great. Yes, you certainly can. So use what you have available. You know, most people have, most of you guys, if you're into your arts and crafts, you probably have a lot of basic supplies laying around, and you know, you can get creative and find new uses for things. Like I said, if you didn't have craft sticks, you can cut cardboard strips or paper strips or cardstock strips, or even maybe try straws. So there's a lot of different things you can do. I love actually using things from nature. What about regular sticks? sticks from your yard. That would be kind of fun. You know, upcycle things, recycle things. I know you guys are creative.
We got some people saying they're going to put sequins on their trees for ornaments.
Awesome. I love that. Yeah, it would be fun to do another one where I'm looking inside at a big Christmas tree right in the middle of my window. Let's see if I can cut one out. See if I can freehand it. I'm just going to do a big triangle. See what that would look like behind my window. I can move it over to the side so you can see it. That would be fun. And I could put some ornaments on it like you guys are doing. Super fun. You guys are really creative. I bet some of you are using glitter. I don't have any glitter out right now, but I have been known to use glitter. So there's a good, nice little Christmas tree inside my house. Now I'm looking inside the house instead of looking outside. We have any other questions?
I think that was it, other than somebody wants to use grass instead of snow, of course.
Of course, not every place has snow in the winter. Like I don't have any snow, but I'm pretending.
Oh, yeah, I'm in North Carolina. We don't have any,
Yeah.
well, not any snow that sticks anyway.
80 degrees in Texas today, so we
Yes.
don't have any snow, but we're pretending we have snow.
I think that's it.
Great. I can't wait to see what y'all have done. Be sure to get them posted up there. I'd love to see them. And if you want to watch this again, it should be up by tomorrow. You can have an adult help you search for the class, and you can watch it again if you want to go slower, or maybe you want to teach a brother or sister or a friend how to do it.
Somebody wants to know if they can use cotton instead of construction paper for their snow.
They sure could. You sure could. Now it might be a little puffy. You might want to smash it down a little bit, but
Yeah.
yeah, you could kind of, cotton balls you can kind of pull apart and use it for snow. But you could do the outside of the window. You could have put snow on the outside of your window if you wanted it to, if you were outside looking in, like on this one where, oh, I didn't want to put a balance on the outside. I could put snow, I could put cotton balls out here, like right along here. And it would be like there's snow on my windowsill because now I'm outside looking in at my Christmas tree. So it's all your point of view. So I hope you guys had fun. This was fun, a fun class to show you guys how to make this little window, and you can hang it on your tree or put it up for your elf on a shelf, or there's so many things you can do. So I think that's all I have on my end. Are we going to wrap up now?
Yeah, I think we're good. So thanks everybody for joining us.
Thanks for
Yeah.
coming, guys, and be sure to log on tomorrow at 4 o'clock again for day 3 of the winter workshop. Bye.